There is a language the universe speaks. It is not words, not logic, not effort. It is frequency. It is vibration. And today, I declare, I stand as the frequency of millions of dollars. Not by striving, not by pleading, but by divine alignment. Wealth is not outside of me. Wealth is coded within me. It is written into the rhythm of my being. It pulses through every thought I dare to believe. The world has taught us to chase dollars, but dollars are echoes. They are the shadows of the real work vibration. The moment I adjust my frequency, the zeros multiply, the doors open, the opportunities appear. Because the unseen world obeys the aligned. I do not beg for millions. I broadcast millions. My words are magnets, my beliefs are blueprints, my certainty is the architect of abundance. Poverty cannot dwell where divine wealth is decreed. Limitation dissolves when I vibrate higher. The millions I speak of, they are not a distant fantasy. They are an inevitable reflection. I walk into rooms as the embodiment of prosperity. I sign contracts as the channel of divine riches. I breathe and money flows. I expect and money answers. I align and money obeys. I am the frequency of millions, and frequency never lies, it never delays. When I vibrate wealth, wealth cannot help but find me. When I decree millions, millions must obey the command. So today I release the struggle, I discard the doubt, I dissolve the fear. I stand, unwavering, vibrating, resonating, emanating, millions multiplied. Wealth inevitable. Prosperity perpetual. I am the frequency of millions of dollars. And so it is. Wealth is not a number in a bank account. It is not paper or plastic cards. It is not gold stacked in vaults. Before it ever takes form in the physical world, wealth is pure, undiluted frequency. It is energy vibrating on a specific channel, much like the radio signals we tune into, unseen yet powerful, present yet intangible, until we align ourselves to it. Everything in this universe operates on frequency. The stars hum their song, the oceans crash with rhythmic certainty, and the heart beats to an ancient, divine pulse. Money, wealth, millions of dollars, they too follow this universal law. They are bound by vibration, carried by energy, drawn by resonance. You do not chase millions, you become a match for them. You tune your internal state, your thoughts, your beliefs, your expectations, to that elevated channel where millions already exist, where abundance flows unblocked, where prosperity is the natural rhythm of life. When I say I am the frequency of millions of dollars, I do not mean I hope for wealth. I do not beg for it. I do not wonder if it will arrive. I declare that I am already vibrating at that level. The same way a tuning fork resonates when struck, the same way a radio picks up signals once dialed to the right station. I align with the energy field where millions already exist. It's not about effort, it's about alignment. The mistake most make is believing wealth is earned purely through toil, through endless grinding, through force. But no amount of external work can override the internal misalignment of frequency. You can hustle every waking hour, but if your energy whispers lack, scarcity, fear, money will remain elusive. But the moment your frequency shifts, when your dominant state hums with certainty, prosperity, abundance, the world outside has no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect that internal truth. Wealth is a spiritual signature long before it ever becomes a transaction. The unseen precedes the seen. The energetic blueprint carves the physical form. That's why two people can take identical actions. One sees doors swing wide open, money flows, opportunities multiply, while the other struggles, blocked at every turn. It is not coincidence, it is frequency. The universe is precise, mathematical in its response. You vibrate at the frequency of millions, and millions become inevitable. You vibrate at the frequency of struggle, and struggle becomes your companion. But here is the undeniable truth: frequency is a choice. It is adjusted by thought, elevated by belief, expanded by expectation. No one is locked into a frequency unless they submit to it. You are not born into scarcity by fate. You are taught scarcity by programming, by repetition, by fear inherited from others who forgot their power. But today, in this moment, you can return to your divine state. You can remember, I am the frequency of millions of dollars. It lives within me. It radiates from me. It magnetizes to me. The millions are not coming from some distant source. They rise up through the alignment of my spirit, mind, and body. The house, the car, the luxury, the overflowing bank accounts, they are reflections, but they are not the source. The source is frequency. You hold the generator within you. You are the broadcaster, the transmitter, the lighthouse that calls prosperity home. Every thought that affirms abundance sharpens that signal. Every belief rooted in certainty amplifies your magnetic pull. Every declaration spoken with unwavering authority tunes you closer to the millions vibrating in the quantum field, waiting for your alignment to unlock them. The greatest deception ever sold is that wealth belongs to the few, that prosperity is distributed selectively, that millions are reserved for those with privilege or luck. But universal law bows to no man-made limitation. The energetic field is impartial, precise, responding only to frequency. When you vibrate wealth, when your subconscious hums with abundance, when your words decree millions as already yours, then creation responds with mathematical certainty. You are not small. You are not separate from abundance. You are the instrument through which wealth plays its song. You are the frequency that commands millions into form. The question is not whether you deserve millions. The question is whether you dare to vibrate at their level. Whether you silence the noise of doubt long enough to hear the rhythm of prosperity already beating within you. Whether you override the old stories of struggle and step boldly onto the frequency where millions are your natural state. The work is not outside, it begins within. The frequency of millions does not arrive from effort alone, it arises from alignment, certainty, and unwavering belief. When your frequency holds steady, wealth flows like breath, natural and constant. The millions are already here, in the unseen, in the quantum, in the potential. And when you vibrate as their match, they cannot help but find you. They must obey the laws of frequency, and you, the aligned, the certain, the bold, become the inevitable receiver. I am the frequency of millions of dollars, and so it is. Words are not just sounds carried by air, they are living currents of energy that shape realities, carve paths, open gates, or close them. Every word spoken is a seed planted in the fertile ground of the unseen. What you speak with emotion, with belief, with certainty, sends out ripples through the energetic fabric of the universe, commanding matter to respond. Words are magnetic currents, pulling prosperity or poverty towards you, depending on the frequency behind them. It is impossible to separate your spoken word from your lived reality. They are reflections of each other, bound by unbreakable law. When you speak lack, you amplify lack. When you speak millions, you invite millions into your field. There is nothing casual about language. Every word is a decree. Every sentence a spell cast upon the field of infinite possibility. If you declare, money is hard to come by, that is the law you set into motion. If you say, I never have enough, the universe arranges itself to fulfill that statement. But the moment your words align with abundance, the moment your declarations match the frequency of prosperity, the magnetic currents shift. Suddenly, wealth flows where struggle once stood. Opportunities emerge where blocks once loomed. The spoken word becomes the architect of your financial reality. This is not metaphor. It is law. Your words are the paintbrush, and the canvas is your life. You speak millions, you live millions. But you must speak them with certainty, with the unwavering knowing that your voice holds creative power. It is not about chanting empty affirmations, but commanding your world with authority. Every time you say, I am wealthy, you etch that frequency deeper into your being. Every time you declare, money flows to me easily and constantly, you send out a signal that draws prosperity closer. The universe is listening. The energetic field is responsive, precise, always reflecting back the dominant vibration behind your words. People often speak against themselves unconsciously. They joke about being broke. They casually complain about bills. They repeat phrases like, I can't afford that, without realizing they are reinforcing a frequency of scarcity. The energetic field does not distinguish between jokes and sincerity. It simply responds to repetition and belief. If you constantly speak lack, lack becomes your echo. But when you speak millions, when your language aligns with abundance, you shift timelines. You enter a new frequency where wealth is not chased, but drawn to you effortlessly. Think of your words as the steering wheel of your financial destiny. With every declaration, you choose the direction toward limitation or toward expansion, toward poverty or toward prosperity. You cannot speak of struggle all day and expect to experience flow. You cannot declare scarcity and magnetize abundance simultaneously. The universe is exact. It responds to alignment, to clarity, to the frequency carried by your words. There is immense creative power hidden in your daily conversations. When you say, "I always attract money," you set that magnetic current in motion. When you affirm, "I am the frequency of millions," the energetic forces around you rearrange themselves to reflect that truth. The millions are not summoned by chance. They are drawn by vibrational law, and your words are the switch that activates that law. It is not about blind optimism. It is about speaking from the knowing that your words sculpt your reality. You are not merely describing your life. You are creating it, sentence by sentence, decree by decree. The world outside bends to the authority of your spoken word when aligned with belief. The great secret is that every time you open your mouth, you are casting a vote for the future you desire, or the future you fear. If you want millions, speak millions. Speak them when you have them, and especially when you do not. Declare wealth when your bank account disagrees. Affirm abundance when your circumstances contradict. Your words carry creative precedence over temporary appearances. The field responds to your dominant frequency, not fleeting evidence. This is how the unseen transforms the seen. You become magnetic to millions when your words align with wealth. Speak them boldly, speak them daily. Speak them until your entire energetic field hums with the resonance of prosperity. Doubt may whisper, circumstances may resist, but your words hold the final say. They plant seeds that, with repetition and belief, bloom into tangible wealth. There is no power in silence when your thoughts contradict your desires. Speak abundance into your life. Speak millions into your experience. Every word is a magnetic current, pulling your reality into form. You are the author, the architect, the commander of wealth through your spoken declarations. Choose your words as if millions depend on them, because they do. The invisible forces of this universe are not random, they are intelligent, responsive, and precise beyond human comprehension. They do not answer desperation. They do not obey fear. They do not react to uncertainty or scattered energy. They rearrange themselves, like obedient soldiers, for the bold, the certain, and the aligned. The one who stands rooted in absolute inner knowing, whose energy radiates clarity and unwavering belief, becomes the commander of these unseen forces. That is the unspoken truth behind every fortune ever built, every empire ever manifested, every floodgate of abundance that has ever been opened. It is not luck. It is not circumstance. It is the direct consequence of frequency alignment and inner certainty. The universe may appear chaotic to those who do not understand its laws, but for the aligned, life unfolds with mathematical precision. You see, there is a vibrational structure behind all things. Money is not an exception to this law. It is one of the most obedient manifestations within it. Wealth is coded into the energetic architecture of the cosmos, waiting for the right frequency to activate its flow. When your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and actions vibrate in harmony with the frequency of millions, the unseen forces respond in ways that appear miraculous to the untrained eye. Opportunities arrive, coincidences multiply, doors swing open, and resources flow effortlessly because your internal state has become a match for that particular stream of abundance. The bold, the certain, the aligned do not chase wealth. They command it through their energy. They understand that the invisible precedes the visible, that the field of energy rearranges itself to reflect the dominant vibration they emit. This is not arrogance, it is universal law. The one who dares to stand in full energetic alignment with wealth becomes irresistible to it. Money, opportunities, and influential connections gravitate towards them, not because they are better, but because they have mastered the art of inner alignment. Those who are hesitant, filled with doubt, or fragmented in their desires send mixed signals into the energetic field. One moment they declare abundance, the next they entertain fear. One moment they visualize millions, the next they speak words of lack. The universe cannot obey contradictions. The invisible forces require clarity, consistency, and certainty to activate the full flow of prosperity. That is why the bold succeed where the hesitant struggle. That is why the aligned experience effortless expansion, while the uncertain experience stagnation. There is an unshakable power that radiates from the one who knows their frequency shapes their reality. They walk into rooms and shift energy without speaking a word. They hold a vision of millions not as a distant dream, but as a present, inevitable reality vibrating within them. Their certainty is magnetic. Their alignment is unbreakable. The invisible forces respond like a well-trained orchestra to their silent command, rearranging circumstances, shifting timelines, bending reality in their favor. This is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to anyone who dares to align. Alignment is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about holding the vision when the evidence is missing. It is about vibrating certainty when circumstances contradict. It is about knowing the invisible forces are already working behind the scenes, orchestrating millions into your experience, even when the material proof has yet to appear. Your job is not to micromanage the how, but to maintain unwavering alignment with the frequency of what you desire. Those who understand this no longer waste energy on fear or comparison. They do not dilute their vibration with envy or impatience. They anchor themselves in the knowing that the unseen world responds precisely to their dominant frequency. They speak millions, think millions, visualize millions, and expect millions. Their internal state is tuned to prosperity, and the invisible forces respond with mathematical accuracy. This is why wealth often flows to those who seem unshaken by setbacks, those who hold their vision regardless of temporary obstacles. The universe is not testing you, it is responding to your alignment. The moment you falter, the moment you sink into doubt, you disrupt the magnetic pull. But when you stand bold, certain, aligned, the forces rearrange themselves in your favor. The power lies within you, not outside. The invisible forces have no choice but to obey the bold, the certain, the aligned. When you embody the frequency of millions, speak with authority, act with confidence, and expect prosperity as your birthright, the entire energetic structure of your reality transforms. Money flows, opportunities emerge, resources multiply. The unseen world is precise. It rewards alignment, responds to certainty, and rearranges itself for those who dare to vibrate as the frequency of millions. Money flows where resistance dies. That is an unshakable law of the universe. The flow of prosperity, the stream of abundance, the river of millions. It is constant, it is available. It is limitless. But most people never experience its full power because they are building walls of resistance that block it at every turn. Resistance is not external, it lives within. It shows up as fear, doubt, guilt, unworthiness, and the endless rehearsing of limitations learned from others. People are not cut off from wealth because they lack skill, intelligence, or opportunity. They are cut off because they resist the flow with their own thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Money is energy, and energy flows naturally toward alignment, toward openness, toward surrender. But the moment resistance creeps in, that flow slows, blocks, or diverts entirely. The truth is, you were designed to be a vessel for wealth, a magnet for abundance, a receiver of millions. But when resistance builds up in your energy field, it's like damming a river. The water, the prosperity, is there, waiting, pressing against the walls of your fear, but it cannot flood your life until you dissolve the resistance. Most people unconsciously worship their limitations. They speak of lack as if it's permanent. They defend their struggle. They replay stories of failure and scarcity like a broken record. All of this is resistance. It constricts the energy field, tightens the flow, and keeps wealth at a distance. Money flows where resistance dies. That means your work is not just external, It is internal mastery. It is becoming aware of every belief, every emotion, every thought that contradicts wealth. It is noticing when your subconscious whispers, "You don't deserve that. That's too much money for someone like you." Or, "Wealth only comes to the lucky." These whispers are walls. They are energetic barriers that stand between you and millions. The moment you become conscious of them, you gain the power to dissolve them. Resistance often masquerades as practicality or humility, but make no mistake, it is fear in disguise. It is the inherited programming of generations that normalized struggle and called it noble. But there is nothing noble about blocking your own expansion. There is nothing humble about denying your divine right to prosperity. Wealth is not selfish. It is an amplifier. It magnifies your capacity to give, to serve, to create, to experience life fully. But it cannot amplify what you resist. When resistance dies, wealth flows, effortlessly and abundantly. Letting resistance die is an act of surrender, but not surrender to limitation, surrender to flow. It is releasing the old narratives that no longer serve you. It is forgiving yourself for past financial mistakes. It is no longer identifying with the version of you that struggled, feared, or doubted. It is stepping into the frequency where millions are not distant, but inevitable. You do not force wealth, you allow it. You do not chase millions, you receive them by aligning with the flow. The process is not about perfection, it is about awareness and adjustment. Every time you catch yourself entertaining resistance, whether in the form of fear, guilt, or unworthiness, you pause, you realign, you choose differently, you affirm your worth. You speak abundance. You embody the energy of ease. The more you practice this, the weaker resistance becomes, until it dissolves completely, and wealth flows as naturally as breath. You have seen people who attract money effortlessly. It is not always because they work harder or smarter. It is often because they carry less resistance. Their energy field is open, receptive, aligned. They believe they are worthy. They expect abundance. They allow prosperity to flow through them. They have killed the resistance that once blocked their millions, and now they live in alignment with the flow. The beautiful truth is that resistance is learned, not innate. You were not born resistant to wealth. As a child, you believed in possibility. You dreamed without limits, you expected life to provide. It was only through conditioning, repetition, and exposure to scarcity-minded environments that resistance formed. But what is learned can be unlearned. What was built can be dismantled. The moment you choose to let resistance die, you unlock the flow. Money does not respond to effort alone, it responds to openness. It flows where it is welcomed, where there is space, where the walls have crumbled. Your task is to become the most open, aligned, receptive version of yourself. To release fear, to surrender doubt, to dissolve guilt, to kill the old stories that say millions are not for you. When resistance dies, money flows. When money flows, life expands. When life expands, you step into the reality where millions are not the exception. They are your natural state. Expectation is magnetic. It is the invisible hand shaping reality long before the evidence arrives. Most people confuse desire with expectation. They desire millions. They hope for abundance. They dream of wealth. But their true expectation vibrates on a different frequency entirely. The universe does not respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you truly expect, consciously or unconsciously. Expectation is a declaration to the energetic field, a signal that informs every atom, every opportunity, every resource exactly how to arrange itself. When you expect millions, not wish, not beg, but expect, you have already activated the frequency of wealth, and the physical world has no choice but to obey. Expectation is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is standing so deeply rooted in your power that you know the millions are already on their way, already present in the quantum, already circling your field, simply awaiting the right moment to land. You do not chase what you expect. You prepare for it. You make room for it. You speak, act, and move as if it's already yours because in the energetic field, it is. The physical realm is simply the last place it shows up. First, it exists in frequency. First, it exists in your belief system. First, it lives in your expectation. There is a different energy to someone who expects abundance. They walk differently, speak differently, carry themselves with quiet certainty. Their energy is calm but powerful, humble yet undeniable. They do not entertain doubts about whether the millions will come. They are simply deciding how and when to receive them. Expectation rearranges timelines. It collapses the distance between desire and manifestation. It accelerates the arrival of opportunities, resources, and connections because the energetic field responds most rapidly to unwavering expectation. Many unknowingly delay their wealth by holding conflicting frequencies. They say they desire millions, but they expect struggle. They visualize abundance, but they secretly prepare for failure. They rehearse positive affirmations, but beneath the surface, they expect to be disappointed. The universe is not moved by surface-level language, it is activated by the core frequency you hold beneath your words. Expectation is deeper than spoken affirmations. It is the internal hum that plays when no one is watching, when the external world offers no proof, when circumstances seem unchanged. Mastering expectation is mastering creation. It requires awareness of your internal dialogue. It requires noticing where you default to fear, where you silently prepare for lack, where you unconsciously expect delay. Every moment you shift those patterns, every time you interrupt scarcity-based expectation and replace it with certainty, you become more magnetic to millions. It is not about forcing belief. It is about returning to your natural state, where abundance is your default, where you expect good to flow, where wealth feels inevitable. Expectation cannot be faked. It is either embodied or it is not. That is why alignment work is so essential. You must clear the doubts, dissolve the resistance, and elevate your beliefs until your expectation naturally matches the frequency of millions. Then, the universe accelerates its response. You move from waiting to receiving, from struggling to flowing, from hoping to having. Look around you. The world reflects what people expect, not always what they desire. The one who expects struggle lives in struggle. The one who expects rejection faces constant rejection. But the one who expects wealth, love, ease, and expansion, those experiences line up like obedient servants, responding to the command of unwavering expectation. It is not magic, it is energetic law. The universe mirrors your dominant frequency, and expectation is the most concentrated form of that frequency. Expectation is also preparation. When you truly expect millions, you act accordingly. You upgrade your habits, your environment, your circle, your decisions. You no longer tolerate energy, conversations, or behaviors that contradict your wealth frequency. Expectation shapes your identity, and identity dictates your reality. You prepare for the millions before they physically arrive, because you know they are inevitable. You do not wait for proof to feel abundant. You feel abundant, and the proof follows. There is a quiet, powerful authority that comes with expectation. It is not loud, desperate, or forceful. It is calm, clear, and magnetic. It does not beg, it commands. It does not chase, it attracts. The millions are already vibrating in your energetic field, awaiting your permission to land. Expect them. Prepare for them. Align with them. When you master expectation, you collapse time between vision and manifestation. The frequency of millions is already here. The only question is, do you expect to receive it? The universe is listening. Your expectation is the command. The frequency of millions is not a fleeting moment of confidence or a temporary high of motivation. It is a lifestyle, a state of being, a constant hum vibrating through your energy field. You do not visit this frequency occasionally and expect your world to transform. You live there. You breathe there. You exist there daily, unwavering, regardless of external appearances. Consistency is the master key. It is easy to feel abundant when the bank account reflects prosperity, when opportunities flow, when applause follows your efforts. But the true alchemist, the one who bends reality, maintains consistency even when the evidence is absent, even when silence fills the room, even when challenges arise. That is the difference between those who magnetize millions and those who chase them endlessly without result. Consistency is alignment in motion. It is the daily discipline of choosing the wealth frequency over the frequency of lack, over the seduction of old patterns, over the pull of familiar limitations. Every thought, every word, every action emits frequency. If your desire is millions, but your dominant energy fluctuates between scarcity, doubt, and fleeting belief, the universe reads the mixed signals and delays the manifestation. But when you become unwavering, when your frequency stabilizes in alignment with abundance, the universe responds with precision, arranging people, places, and opportunities to match your internal consistency. Most people abandon their wealth frequency too quickly. They declare abundance in the morning and spiral into fear by the afternoon. They visualize millions for a few days, only to return to old conversations rooted in struggle and lack. They dip in and out of alignment, and with each dip, they dilute the signal sent into the energetic field. Manifestation is not random, it is mathematical. The consistency of your vibration determines the speed and size of your manifestations. The one who masters consistency collapses time, bending reality in ways others call impossible. To live as the frequency of millions, your consistency must become non-negotiable. That means your self-talk is consistent. You do not allow your mind to wander into lack or rehearse old scarcity narratives. You correct the course in real time, elevating your inner dialogue to match the abundance you desire. Your language is consistent. You no longer speak words that contradict your wealth. You do not entertain conversations rooted in limitation. You speak as one who already dwells in the frequency of millions. Your emotions are consistent. You train your nervous system to normalize wealth, to feel safe in abundance, to anchor in gratitude and certainty, even before the physical proof appears. Consistency also means your environment reflects your wealth frequency. You surround yourself with people, spaces, and experiences that elevate your vibration, that remind you of the reality you are creating, that support your alignment. You release relationships, habits, and spaces that tether you to old limitations. You curate your life to mirror the frequency of millions, long before the millions arrive in physical form. That is how you signal readiness to the universe. That is how you collapse time. There is no room for temporary energy in the frequency of millions. You cannot dip into abundance for an hour and wonder why your reality resists transformation. You must dwell there, embody it, radiate it consistently, until your external world reflects the internal truth you refuse to abandon. This is not about perfection, it is about unwavering return. When doubt arises, you return. When fear whispers, you return. When old patterns attempt to seduce you back into limitation, you return. The return is your power. The consistency is your anchor. Manifesting millions is not reserved for the few. It is available to those who master energetic discipline. Those who hold the wealth frequency consistently, regardless of external circumstances, become magnetic to abundance in all forms. Their world shifts, money flows unexpectedly, doors open effortlessly, resources multiply. Others call it luck, but it is simply the result of unwavering energetic consistency. The beautiful truth is consistency compounds. Every aligned thought strengthens the frequency. Every abundant word amplifies the signal. Every inspired action accelerates the manifestation. Over time, your consistency creates momentum, and momentum collapses timelines. What once felt distant arrives rapidly. What once seemed improbable becomes inevitable. Living as the frequency of millions is not a part-time practice. It is your new identity. It is how you think, how you feel, how you speak, how you act every single day. Consistency builds the energetic foundation upon which wealth, success, and fulfillment rest. Without consistency, the foundation crumbles. With it, you become unstoppable, magnetic, undeniable. Millions do not respond to sporadic energy, they flow to the consistent, the aligned, the unwavering. You are the frequency of millions when your consistency makes it impossible to be anything else. Receptivity is the final gateway. You can align, expect, embody, and vibrate as the frequency of millions, but without true receptivity, the flow remains incomplete. Most people unconsciously block their own blessings because they have not yet mastered the art of receiving. Receiving is not passive, It is an active, intentional, magnetic state where you open yourself fully to the infinite abundance already circling your energetic field. It is the final surrender, the quiet agreement with the universe that says, I am ready, I am worthy, I accept. Without receptivity, the millions may orbit your life, brushing against your reality, but never landing. But when you are receptive, the universe floods your world with more than you can imagine. True receptivity requires releasing control. Many chase wealth while gripping tightly to how they believe it must arrive. They demand it shows up in specific ways, through certain people, within rigid timelines. But control is resistance disguised as strategy. The universe does not operate within your limited conditions. It operates within energetic alignment, and the pathways through which millions arrive are often unexpected, non-linear, and far beyond your current comprehension. When you release control, you dissolve the invisible walls blocking your blessings. You become spacious, fluid, open, and magnetic. Receiving also demands worthiness. If you secretly believe you are unworthy of millions, you will repel them even as you desire them. The universe mirrors your core beliefs, not your surface wishes. Many sabotage their own manifestations because deep down, they have not reconciled with their innate worthiness. They believe wealth belongs to others, the lucky, the born privileged, the chosen few, but not to them. This belief weaves subtle resistance into their energetic field, keeping millions at a distance. To truly receive, you must declare your worthiness as absolute, non-negotiable, and eternal. You were born worthy. No past mistake, no inherited story, no external opinion can alter that truth. Your worthiness is the foundation upon which your receptivity rests. Receptivity also demands readiness. You must prepare your life for the arrival of millions, not hypothetically, but practically, emotionally, energetically. You create space, in your schedule, your environment, your nervous system, for the next level of abundance to land. You expand your capacity to hold more. You release patterns of self-sabotage that once capped your wealth. You upgrade your habits, your relationships, your standards to reflect the version of you who already lives in alignment with millions. Readiness signals to the universe that you are no longer wishing. You are prepared to receive. The most powerful receivers move with humility and authority simultaneously. They are humble enough to surrender control, to trust the divine timing and orchestration of the universe. Yet they stand in authority, knowing they are the command center of their reality, the energetic architect shaping their experience. They do not beg for millions, they expect them. They do not demand specific outcomes. They trust the infinite intelligence orchestrating their blessings. Their receptivity is graceful, powerful, unwavering. Receptivity is also about expanding your definition of wealth. Millions may arrive as money, but they also arrive as aligned opportunities, influential relationships, divine ideas, unexpected resources. When you narrow your focus to money alone, you may miss the very pathways through which wealth flows to you. The universe speaks in signs, synchronicities, and unexpected gifts. To be receptive is to remain awake, alert, and grateful for every form abundance takes. The opportunity you almost dismissed may be the seed of your millions. The conversation you nearly avoided may be the doorway to your next level. The idea that felt too simple may carry the frequency of exponential wealth. Stay open, stay receptive, stay curious. Receiving also requires embodiment. You must become the version of yourself who naturally holds millions with grace, responsibility, and joy. The universe does not deliver blessings you are not yet prepared to steward. If your energy cannot hold wealth, it will not stay. Receptivity is not only about allowing millions to arrive. It is about becoming the container stable enough to hold them, expand them, and multiply them. Your nervous system must normalize abundance. Your mind must expect growth. Your spirit must celebrate the overflow. The frequency of millions already exists. It is not waiting to be created, it is waiting to be received. You are the vessel. Your receptivity determines the speed, size, and sustainability of your wealth. Open your heart. Expand your beliefs. Release control. Stand in worthiness. Prepare your life, and allow the universe to do what it does best: deliver, multiply, and exceed your every expectation. The final gateway is open. Are you truly ready to receive?